Welcome back, gamers. Today we're going to be checking out the classic deck building game, Dominion. This is actually the first expansion called Intrigue, which is highly regarded as the best version and the best one to kind of jump into if you don't already have the base set. Of course, if you already know how to play the game, go ahead and click on it to jump right to my conclusions. Otherwise, let's find out what's in the box and how you play the game.
It's board games with PeedMont.
Inside of Dominion, you will find, well, some advertisements. Well, one very large, full-color rulebook. Lots of words in here. The game is not actually this complicated, but it kind of describes what all the cards do in extraneous detail. But that's nice. It also gives you some recommended setups. Very cool. And then, just an absolute crap ton of cards. And that's basically all that's in it. This could have been shrunk down to about, I don't know, this size. But it is nice that they're all separated out kind of individually for the set. And if this is just your base set, it's nice. My only real issue comes with if you have all the expansions for this, you basically build a skyscraper in your house. You set up the game something like this, putting out the deck of copper, silver, and gold. For a two-player game, 8 of each estate, duchy, province, and 20 curse cards. And then 10 different sets of cards from the deck that you can choose at random or use one of the recommended sets that are in the back of the rulebook. Then you'll also give each player 7 copper and 3 estate cards. To start the game, each player will take their deck of 10 cards, the 7 copper and 3 estates, and give them a shuffle. This will randomize basically where everything is. On your turn, you simply draw 5 cards, and then you have a couple of actions you can do. You could take one action, basically playing a card from your hand. You can make one buy. You can buy one thing from the table. And then you clean up, discard the rest of your hand, and get ready for the next turn. In the very beginning of the game, only thing that's going to be in your deck are those copper cards and the estate cards. And in this case, I have 4 copper. So I can't take any actions, I don't have any action cards, but I can make one purchase for 4 coins. If you look at each of that cards, it shows basically how much it costs, what type of thing it is, and it gives you some extra ability it does, and then maybe some extra text. In this case, the Scout I could purchase and add to my deck. It says +1 action, so I could play this, and it would let me do another action if I had another one in my hand. Also, it reveals the top 4 cards of your deck. You put victory cards into your hand, and put the other ones on the top of your deck. Victory cards are these point cards. We'll get to those in a second. That way you can thin out your deck. So each of these do something different. When you purchase one of these cards, it goes basically to your discard pile so that it will be in your deck the next time around. So hopefully you can get that and use it to do some extra stuff. And each card does its own special thing. We'll see the Harem costs 6, but it counts as 2 gold and 2 victory points at the end of the game. Very nice. We have the Ironworks, which lets you basically gain a free card of up to 4, and if you purchase an action, it does something different, a treasure something different, a victory something different. Very cool. We have something like the Bridge, which gives you an extra buy action. So maybe with those 4 coins, I could have bought 2 coin cards. Very nice. So basically you building together your deck to try and manipulate what you can do each turn, giving you better odds of taking extra actions, purchasing extra buys, getting extra money, etc. You can also see things like the Silver, which costs 3, is actually a 2. So if you have one of these in your hand, it counts for 2 gold, which is nice, so you don't get just stuck with all ones. And similarly, the Gold costs 6, but gives you 3 points. And that gives you some of those really expensive cards later in the game, like these Provinces. 8 coins, with 6 victory points. Finally, when you spend those gold coins, they're not gone. They just go into your discard pile for the next, until they get shuffled back into your deck. And once you run completely out of your deck, you reshuffle all the cards in your discard pile back into your deck and start over again. Players take turns drawing their 5 cards, making purchases, taking actions, and the game ends when either the province pile is completely empty. In a 2-player game, there are only 8 of these here, and these are the most valuable cards, 6 points, very nice. Or if any 3 piles are empty. When either one of those things happen, the game ends, and you basically put together your entire rest of your deck and count how many points you have, these victory points. So in this case, I would have 1, 2, 3, and my end score would be 3 points. Whoever has the most points is the winner. And very quickly, that is the basics of Dominion. You're taking your turns, drawing some cards, making some purchases, doing some actions, trying to make this deck that's not too heavy on the victory cards so that you're not just drawing those that don't do anything on your actual turns, but still having enough in there that if the game ends at any time, you'll be the one in the lead. It's really the one that kind of brought this to the people. It's really popular. There are a bajillion expansions for it. And even just as this base set has a ton of replayability, the cards are unique, you can mix them up randomly, and it's really fun, it's quick, and it just, I don't know, it makes a lot of sense. It seems so innovative to take this kind of very basic part from collectible card games and make it the entire game of constructing your deck. So altogether, I think Dominion is a very fun game. Like I said, I mean, I'm a little over this kind of theme, medieval European stuff, and there are a lot of other deck builders nowadays with other fun themes. Marvel Legendary, which is superheroes, or Core Worlds, which is the space theme that work very well. There's nothing inherent of the gameplay that says it needs to be this kind of theme, so I get kind of sick of that, but the game itself is a lot of fun, and if you want to just grab one of the sets, the basic one or Intrigue, it's a lot of fun. It comes with everything you need to play for 2 players. My only issue is that when you start to get all the expansions, they all come in these gigantic boxes, and like I said, you literally build a skyscraper in your house if you have all of them. It just takes up a huge amount of space for the fact that it's just cards. But it is really, not light, but it's easy enough for anyone to understand. It's really simple. You draw those 5 cards, make some plays, try and have a really cool deck. And there's a lot of strategy and a lot of stuff you can learn from playing it that, oh yeah, I definitely didn't need to buy those provinces so early. My deck is just filled with those now and I'm not being able to do anything. And for the cost of just getting one of them, a lot of times you can find them on sale. This game's been around for a while. It's a really nice deal for the kind of 2-player action. The cards are really nice. The illustrations are cool. I think it's fun, strategic. There's not a ton of randomness. I mean, all the information is kind of there except for what's in your own deck when it's going to come out. That's just kind of luck of the draw and statistics. But all the stuff's already out on the table, and you see what your opponent's purchased, you know what you've purchased, and you can work around that kind of stuff. The components are just cards, so I get kind of bummed out about that, and I wish it was in a little smaller box, perhaps. If it's going to make it this big, let it fit all the expansions. Otherwise, let's make it a little smaller. But if you don't already have a deck builder in your collection, you should definitely check them out. You could find Dominion, somebody who you know has this, and you could play it to check it out. It's a lot of fun, and if you're not into this theme, you could always find another one. So that was kind of a weird way to end that. I just don't really know what to say about Dominion. It just kind of exists for me. It's a really good game, but it's just, I don't know, almost expected. It's fun to play, but it's not like I ever think or get super excited about playing Dominion. It's just a well-designed game.